So I'm going to do a DSA installation from scratch. For simplicity, I'm actually just going to do this on a virtual machine, so the environment's cleaner, and currently I'm the DSA admin user. There's very few dependencies, fortunately, in order to do this. So I'm doing sudo apt get install apt transport HTTPS. I'm updating my CA certificates. I need curl, and I need software properties common on an Ubuntu machine. So that takes a couple seconds. Now the reason I need curl is because I want to install the latest version of Docker. The one that comes with Ubuntu 16.04 is getting dated, and so this is basically getting the GPG key for Docker, and I'll link to where all of these commands are were stored and to help with the video. So I am now downloading the latest repository. All I need to do now is do sudo apt get install, sudo apt get update to make sure my package repository has the, basically, you can see right here it's pulling the getting the new list of packages from Docker. And now I'm just going to install Docker Seee, which is the community edition of Docker. That takes a couple of seconds. So fortunately the internet's being fast today, so that's going pretty quickly. Now the next thing I'm going to do once this is finished is just install a handful of Python packages that allow me to basically start the Docker containers. This is running real quick again. I'm installing pip, which you may probably have installed anyway. I'm installing libSSL dev, which allows us to pull stuff using SSL, obviously. And then just a couple of other Python dev, just some other really basic packages. Now, another thing I generally do is I upgrade the version of pip, because again, sometimes the version built into the standard installation is a little old. So I do sudo pip install -upgrade pip. That will upgrade pip. I've just otherwise it sometimes complains. Now, the last but not least, I'm installing DockerPy and Ansible, and make things easier, I'm actually just installing these into user space. Now, one thing that's slightly confusing is I've installed Docker, or I am about to install Docker Community Edition, but if I do Docker PS, I don't have permission to talk to the Docker container because DSA admin is not a member of the Docker user group. In Ubuntu, you do sudo user-add -ag Docker, your username. Oops. Did I get it? Oh, user mod, sorry. So now DSA admin is a member of the Docker user group. Now, because of the way permissions work in Ubuntu, I have to log out as DSA admin and log in as DSA admin. Now, excuse me. So, fortunately, that was pretty quick. And so now if I do Docker PS, do I have to? Oh, well, I don't have SSH server running. So if I do SSH DSA admin at localhost, I'm now a member of the Docker group. So I guess I have to log out completely. So now I'm a member of the Docker group. Let's see if, yeah, so this is because this session, for some reason, is not a member of the Docker group. I think I need to log out DSA admin completely. I don't know why it's being weird. I'll do it again. This is one of the things that gets a little frustrating. This is not a DSA problem. This is a Docker problem. Again, it still says I am not a member of the Docker group. I should be, since if I log in, I am. If I do groups, it doesn't list me as a member of the Docker group. But then, ironically, if I log in as DSA, I am a member of this group. So, because I don't know why that's doing that, I'll just do it from the second terminal, because it doesn't really matter. So now all I'm going to do is, last but not least, this can go wherever you want. For now, just make a development directory. I'm going to cd into development directory. I'm going to git clone github.com, digital slide archive, histomics tk. Yay, that worked. I'm going to wait a second. I'm going to cd into that directory. I'm going to now cd into the Ansible directory, and we have a helper script called Python deploy docker. If I hit info, it gives me all sorts of exciting help. I can also do Python deploy docker help. This gives me even more options. So the first thing we need to do is we do Python deploy docker pull. And this is basically pulling the Docker containers from Docker Hub so that we can then run them. Now, what I will also do, because I like Chrome better than Firefox, I'm going to do sudo apt-get install Chromium browser. You don't have to do this, but I like Chrome better. And since this is just pulling Docker containers, I can run apt-get in parallel, and I can do those two tasks simultaneously. So this depends on your network connection. This takes a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, just depending, I guess, on how busy Docker Hub is. But the good news is, as soon as this is done, oh cool, it's gone fast. As soon as this is done, I'll be able to spin up a local DSA instance. Yeah, it finished. So the good news is now all I do is Python deploy docker start from the Ansible directory, and that is it. This takes between 10 to 30 seconds depending on just your file system speed. So this basically is just starting the individual Docker containers. So there's a Mongo container, there's one for Girder Worker, a bunch of stuff here that I can't read that quickly. The fun part is I can now go over here, hit Chromium browser, hit ampersand in the background. I'm going to open Chrome. There you go. And if I go to localhost 8080, nothing happens yet because Girder's not started yet. We go again, hit refresh, it's up. So there's no images, there's no data, there's no users. I'm going to show you guys how to deal with that stuff in the next video.